Hello, Taurus. Welcome to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. So glad you can make it. Thank you for being here. Taurus, we're going to take a look at what the messages are coming in for you that you need to know about. I'm going to be using the Tarot of Vlad Dracula. It's a very explicit deck with very explicit and graphic images, so discretion is advised. That is also to say, if the images are just too daunting, as per my discretion, I may or may not show some of the cards. Okay, so let's take a look. Oh, by the way, this deck, Tarot of Vlad Dracula, is by an independent his name is Travis McHenry, and his website is Bloodstone Inc. There. So let's get into your messages, Taurus. Taurus, okay. Your overall energy is the Queen of Swords. Now, this is somebody that has been going through a lot, who has had a lot of difficulties and challenges and just, fucked up shit happen in life over the course of their life. And this is someone who has survived it, who's overcome it, who struggled with it, but has learned a lot, gained a lot of experience, but not without the cost of hurt and pain, blood, sweat, and tears. So this Queen of Swords is, as the overall energy, either you or someone that you're dealing with. And this is someone that looks like they're going through something right now, right? This is someone who looks like they're fucking going through something at the moment. And so this is either you or someone that you're dealing with. But this Queen of Swords is perhaps having trouble with her plans or logic or communication, or with being able to get the truth, or with being able to apply wisdom, right? She's trying to be wise about what she should and shouldn't do. But I also feel like with this Queen of Swords that you're not talking. Either you're not talking or someone isn't talking to you, but somewhere there is no communication happening because she's holding this sword. You may be wanting very much to communicate to someone, or someone may be wanting to communicate with you, but that communication is being held back. Okay? That communication is being held back. I also feel like this Queen of Swords is looking for something, looking for communication. And she's looking at this Knight of Swords. So you could be holding back communication from a Knight of Swords, or someone could be holding back communication from you, but it's because you're trying to be decisive in your actions, right? You don't want to be ruthless, or you're trying to avoid drama here with someone or around a plan, or your logic around something. And so you are also trying to be strong. I also feel like whatever is causing you some issue around your plans or your logic or communication, that you are looking to be very decisive in what measures to take. You're looking to be strong, to show some restraint. You are watching what you say, or there's a need to watch what you say, so as to be able to have a sound strategy, or as you develop your strategy with something that you may be feeling pressure with, or there may be some force being applied in some way towards you, or that you may be wanting to apply, but where you are looking to stay resilient and have self-control, or there's a need for self-control. This is around what you are focused on, or who you're focused on. Now, I wanted clarity on that Queen of Swords for you, Taurus, and two cards we have is laugh at the devil that mocks you. Okay, so you may be trying to wrap your head around something, or there may be a need to unwrap your head about what you are perhaps obsessing over, or feeling stuck, or getting perhaps some resistance with, or where there's some drama that could be happening, or someone bringing you some drama, or that you're trying to avoid some drama around. I just feel like you're under pressure. Somebody under pressure here, or being pushed, or concerned about that. And there's a need for you to not obsess. There may be some measure of fear and uncertainty here. But this is saying that whatever it is you are concerning yourself with, or becoming overly concerned, that you may even begin to worry, or that could be causing a measure of worry, for you not to do that. Okay? For you to be logical here, and to stay mindful and be smart about things. Okay? Because you can draw on your experience here, as the Queen of Swords, who has already gone through a lot and experienced a lot, and made it through. So this is asking you to be concerned, but not to be obsessed with that concern. To trust in your authority, to seek and do as much as you can do to have security around your circumstances, or your plan, or what you're thinking about. Be confident, and make sure you're thinking clearly, because see, you might be tripping. You might be tripping here. Something could be shocking as well. Or you may be trying to work a lot of shit out, and it's just a lot. It may feel like a lot of drama for you. But you also have some solutions require abstract thinking. So this is telling me that there are some difficulties coming up for you, or that you're facing or dealing with, but that there's a need for you to think outside of the box, to go about ways in a perhaps unorthodox way, to perhaps turn away from doing things in its usual way, and perhaps needing to adapt to a more unusual means to doing things or getting stuff done. And that you being able to think outside the box is going to be required for you to have the solutions that you need to see happen here. There's your reading. Okay, let's continue. But that's your overall energy. This is you focusing on the solutions, being decisive. Make sure you're not being too hasty. Okay, and make sure you're being rational, and cut out what needs to be cut out. Okay, with the goal of you being able to have things work out. Even things that might be causing, have you in your head a lot. Okay, or making you feel stuck, limited, or restricted in some way, or feeling burdened. Now, your energy and attitude here, Taurus, is the King of Swords. Okay, so we have the King of Swords here, and we have the Queen of Swords here. So this could be a couple. You may be separated from this person or divorced. You could be together, but at some point, this is involving you and someone else that you are in relationship with, or that you are dealing with. But also, this is saying that perhaps there's a need for you to have a balance in your thinking. The shadow and light, balance things out, that yin and yang, and how you think and process and communicate. You may be pulled upon in ways where you may want to operate from your shadow, when it's more of a need for you to operate from a intelligent, intellectual, logical standpoint, with something that may be pulling on your emotions or your heartstrings. But this King of Swords is saying that your energy and attitude here is that you have the capacity to be very diplomatic, and perhaps reluctantly so. Because this King of Swords doesn't look like he really is looking to be diplomatic and looking to, you know, do things on the up and up. And I'm not saying you're looking to do things the wrong way, but it don't look like you really care to be rational. And maybe you're dealing with something that this is just not rational for you. That you're finding yourself you needing to deal with. Now, this King of Swords is kind of looking over here in your relationship, friendship, and love sector. But just know with the King of Swords, this is about you making major decisions here. The King of Swords is about you being a source of intervention, showing some restraint in your communication, your planning, and your logic. This is perhaps you even being the one that presides over something or matters and having a verdict. This is you perhaps through your communication able to direct things or trying to direct things to go in a certain way. But this is you also having a very strong measure of authority that you may or may not want to utilize. There may be something too here that you may need to recognize that perhaps you don't want to, that's causing you some sort of concern. But there's a need for you to be diplomatic and to be fair and to do what's best and right and good, and make sure that you have all the knowledge you need here. And I feel that you do, that you can be very effective here, but use your wisdom and use tact. But I also feel like you may be concerned about your ability in having the power of influence in what you say or what you want to convey here. So be mindful of this with the King of Swords, with who you're dealing with or what you're looking at. And so let's see what you're looking at with this King of Swords, because this King of Swords looks very concerned, right? Kind of over it, but still showing up to be smart about the shit, to see what needs to be dealt with and executed, even to deal with the things that they perhaps don't want to have to deal with, right? But it's the logical thing to do. And so in your relationships, friendships, and love, you do have the 10 of Staves or the 10 of Wands. So I see why there's some concern here. There's some sort of burden in your relationship sector, friendship, and love. You could be experiencing difficulties with several connections that you're involved with. There could be a connection that's causing you some sort of burden, or there is a burden for someone who is looking to you to be of assistance and bring some logic, some clarity to the situation on how to cut something out or deal with something or bring it into that burden here with this 10 of Wands. But someone is very overwhelmed, or someone may be causing you to feel overwhelmed here. And I feel like you don't want to have to deal with this or be bothered or have to preside over this, if you will, or have to do this logically and fair and diplomatic. And so this is you needing, again, to be cautious. You see, he kind of has the sword here, but then the horse ahead of him is kind of his shield, with something that just feel like you don't really want to have to be going through or doing, right? So you want to be careful about what you say, and be mindful that with who you're dealing with, they could be causing you burden or expecting you to help them with their burden or the things that they're overwhelmed with, that you exercise caution about whether or not this is even something that you should be doing. Or whoever's causing you issue, I just feel like there is a solution here, but it may require you to think outside the box, or just find find a way to deal with something usual in an unusual way, or with someone that way. Now, let's take a closer look at that 10 of Wands. Spirit, tell me about the 10 of Wands for Taurus. But yeah, there's some sort of burden here. You may be being asked or looked to do something that you may feel that will be a burden for you or overwhelming for you. And there's a need for you to really be mindful and smart about how invested you may or may not be, or how you might need to cut something off or someone off that could be causing you burden, or where there's a burden existing in a connection, but you're finding a perhaps soft approach, or perhaps you may be doing as much as you can to stay clear of the situation for as long as possible before you act. Tell me about this 10 of Staves for Taurus, please. Now, this could be something, thank you, that you're dealing with where you're collaborating with someone else, perhaps your ex or your partner or another professional or friend or family member. But there's some sort of pressure here, or a sense of feeling overwhelmed and overburdened by a connection. Now, you do have on this 10 of Staves, you have this Knight of Swords. So there's definitely some sort of drama going on here. You do have the 9 of Swords. There's a lot of worry, concern. And you do have the 8 of Swords. So someone is creating a lot of mental disturbance, interference with this energy here, or with their communication. Hello, Taurus. I'm back. Sorry about that. I had to pause the video, but I'm back. So, with that said, let's continue. Being that a pause and interruption has happened in the middle of talking about your relationships and your friendships and love, there may be a connection that's giving you pause, or that you may be considering or finding yourself needing to cut off, or figure out how to sever or cut off. And it's something that is not easy for you to do, or that you rather not have to do or deal with, because you do have this 9 of Swords where there's some sort of cause for concern. Okay? Or you feel like someone is not showing the proper concern or needed worry here, and causing you interference and drama here. At the bottom, you do have the 4 of Swords. So there's a matter you want to put to rest or bury, or that you want to be able to take a step back from someone or around a matter connected to your relationships, friendships, or with love, that you want to put to rest. Now, there could be a burden that exists between you and someone else, and you just want to be able to bring the matter to rest, because it is causing you to feel limited, restricted, trapped in your head about, worried, because you're not sure what the hell's going on with something that was supposed to be clear cut. Okay? Now, in your money and finances, you do have the Knight of Wands. So with the Knight of Wands, I feel like for some of you around your money is coming in, but not as quickly as you like, or the amount you would like, especially when it may be coming and going. So you may be also experiencing when money is coming in dribs and drabs, or coming in pieces, right? The whole thing isn't coming in. But also this Knight of Wands is saying that around your money and finances, you are seeking to improve your finances and involve any impulsive, hasty decisions. And you may be also needing to seek improvement or ways to improve your money, and that you may not be very motivated to have to do. This Knight of Wands kind of looks to be just barely moving, and usually a Knight of Wands is really quick. So I feel like you are being mindful about how you assert yourself, or you might be tired about what it takes to assert yourself, as it has to do with, maintaining your money, with it coming in and going out. Let's clarify this Knight of Wands. Spirit, tell me about this Knight of Wands for Taurus money and finances. Yeah, this Knight of Wands is kind of looking over at the King of Swords, which is you. And so this is you having to really surmise what's going on with your money and finances, because your money and finances, you may be experiencing some pressure or burden, or starting to feel overwhelmed about your money and finances because money isn't coming in as quickly as you would like or need. Spirit, tell me about the Knight of Wands, please. The stakes are getting high, right? Tell me about this Knight of Wands for Taurus. Thank you. Yeah, underneath you do have the Hangman. So with the Hangman here, there could be a focus on a Pisces individual. But with the Hangman here at the bottom, this may be you taking a pause, you holding off, trying to figure and sort things out. This is perhaps you needing to stop spending, or finding that you have to stop spending, and perhaps maybe even come up with a different angle around what's going on with your money and finances. This is you putting things on hold or trying to find a better way to manage your money. This is you perhaps concerned about your spending and saving. There may be issues around an institution where money may be on hold, or that you're waiting for, or is just slow moving in that regard. And so in the meantime, there's like a need for you to slow down and not be hasty or too rash or irrational about how you handle your money. There's a need for you to be assertive, but I feel like you're not happy with having to be in that position. And so on that Knight of Wands, you do have the Hermit, which is Virgo energy. You could be dealing with a Virgo. You have the Four of Wands, and you do have the Three of Pentacles. So there's a focus on your stability, your home, and feeling peace, and feeling, you feeling internally stable about your money and finances. You having harmony, success, and completion about how your money is moving or growing or coming in or going out. And with the Hermit here, this may be you analyzing your money and perhaps working on or needing to work on your money, because I feel like you sense that something is going to change with your money or slow down with your money, the way your money is coming in or your access to money. Something could be creeping up on you with this Three of Pentacles, and there's a need for you to not sleep on your money situation and to be alert so that you can work on it and build upon it, because there may be others involved concerning your money or external factors that could be creeping up or coming in that you need to be cognizant of. And with the Hermit here, really analyze your money closely and pay attention to your instincts, or that sense of something changing with your money where it's slowing down. The money coming in is slowing up, and you needing to find solutions, or you needing to, with the Hermit, to have a more minimalist lifestyle in how you spend or use your money. So there's a need to be careful. I do feel that this is causing you some sort of pressure or, dissatisfaction here, but I do think that you're okay. So in work, you do have this Page of Cups. I just feel like this is about you waiting for news about work, because work may be on hold or suspended at this time. And you may be waiting for news about that, where that news is going to be coming in and letting you know what the change is around work, when work is suspended, or how much longer work will be suspended here. And you're keeping an eye on that. You're waiting for some news, or you are expecting that some news will come in soon. And so you are, it's like you're waiting with that Page of Cups. Spirit, tell me about the Page of Cups for Taurus. Now, for some of you, you're getting news that work is going to be remain suspended or going to be suspended, or the suspension on work is being lifted. But there's some news coming in. You may not, I don't feel like you exactly feel all that motivated, no matter what the news is. But it's like things are going to slowly get moving anyway. And so there may be burden for you, or you may feel a little overwhelmed. For some of you, it may be bringing it into your feeling burdened and overwhelmed, as it has to do with work. Spirit, tell me about the Page of Cups for Taurus. Thank you. Okay, underneath you do have the King of Swords. Okay, so with the King of Swords here, there may be a major decision being made at work or by you or both, but this is also calculating things with this King of Swords energy here. This here is perhaps you getting news from a professional, or you're trying to make contact or communicate with a professional at work, someone that's in authority around some news regarding work. On that Page of Cups, you do have the Ten of Swords, the Nine of Wands, and the Fool. Okay. So I feel here is that with the Nine of Wands, you are on guard about what kind of news you're going to get about work, where something is coming to an end. Maybe being at home is coming to an end, working from home is coming to an end, or something's coming to an end at work, or it's like something has to be put down, something is being ended here, and reluctantly so with work. And there is this being on guard about that. And with the Fool here, you may feel a little oblivious to what will be happening or is happening, or you may be having a lot of concern, maybe some fear about possible stagnation, or what new direction things could be going into. And so you're looking for news and information about that, because you may feel in the dark. You sense and know that change will happen and is going to happen or is happening, but what news you get from it is what you are expecting to give you that clarity, to clear things up, where you may be in a fog about or on guard, and feeling pensive. Some of you may be concerned that the news is that your work is ending, that you're being let go. Some of you is that that time away from work is over, and it's now, you're going to be getting news, or you're waiting for the news, or on guard about the news about that coming to an end and going back to the way things were working with work is going to happen. For some of you, you are looking for the news and messages about what the alternatives are about work, or alternatives need to be for you concerning work. Now, in your home, I'm not going to show you this card because it looks crazy. Just know that it says a slow execution. Okay? Let's just do it this way. Okay? So you have Temperance here. For some of you, you're dealing with a Sagittarius in the home or concerning home. But with Temperance here, I feel like you are under a lot of pressure at home. You're under a lot of pressure and burden at home. You're being pulled in different directions here, and you may feel like you're experiencing a slow screw, like you being very patient. Things are taking a very long time. You're trying to keep things balanced, and it's difficult perhaps even a burden for you to really have to process and be logical and think things through, with the things that concern you, with the concerns of others in the home. But with Temperance here, you may be starting to experience or have been experiencing struggles with keeping everything maintained, with being able to adjust here, because the Temperance is saying that there's a need for you to really work hard to make sure that things don't end up out of balance, but to instead to maintain a good balance and even try to achieve a greater balance in the home that allows healing and harmony. And so this is you having to um, not only make adjustments, but you having to mix and measure constantly to keep everything afloat and keep everything going, not just with everything around the home, but with everybody in the home, or as it concerns home here with Temperance. So let's take a closer look at Temperance here. But yeah, you're experiencing a lot of burden in the home. You are dealing with it, but it's requiring a lot of patience on your part. There's a lot of moderation that you've had to put to use here. You had to do a lot of things in moderation and constantly doing moderation for a long time, or you're finding that you're in a space where you have to do things more moderately. You may be losing steam about, having to put in all that energy and effort to balance things, to adjust to things, and to be patient. And so this is you needing to examine and can keep re-examining to make sure everything is going okay and going well and going good. This is you making compromises, dealing with any clashes of interest. This is you trying to harmonize things that need to happen in the home. Okay? Or there's some sort of pressure you're under in the home where you feel that it's causing an imbalance, or that it is a slow screw, or tearing you apart in some way, or that you're starting to feel broken up about it. Tell me about Temperance, please, for Taurus, please, Spirit. Thank you. So at the bottom, you do have this Queen of Pentacles. So this is you being very dutiful, being very responsible, being very nurturing, being practical, being grounded, trying to take care of everything, making sure that you're doing all you can to survive. Look at all this red. Your root chakra is at play here. This is you focusing on what you have, your survival, taking care of your needs, and making sure that you're sustaining. And so on that Temperance, you do have the Eight of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Page of Swords here. And so I feel like this is things moving slowly, or you having a lot of responsibility, determination, and focus to trying to think of ways to avoid becoming unfulfilled, or to move away from any unfulfillment that you could be experiencing about what needs to get done, or what you're doing, or that's taking a long time to do, or requiring you to stay steadfast, if you will, and consistent, and helpful, or as it has to do with getting help, and you moving on from that. You're trying to move away from the things and people that don't serve you. You're trying to address any unfulfillment for yourself and with others. You're trying to be responsible and maintain and focus. You could be dealing with some stubborn energy as well, or there may be some inflexibility, or there's just a lot of fucking tasks. And this is you trying to be mindful, to think of ways to balance things out for yourself, balance your energy, and keep things healed and done in moderation. And this is you focusing on protecting and being on guard. It also could be some sort of communication coming in that you feel inflexible about, that's causing you unfulfillment and that's disrupting the balance or healing, or the that's something that you have difficulty adjusting to, or that you don't want to see something shifted or changed because it creates imbalance for you or the household in some way. Now, the unexpected you got coming in is this Eight of Coins. So with the Eight of Coins, this is work. Okay, for some of you, the unexpected thing is that work is happening now. You're returning to work, or there's a change with work. This is also the unexpected is that you are working hard on something, or you find another way to work on something, or to do something, or a way to build. The unexpected thing also here is you may be finding that there's a need for you to be more prudent, or to be prudent when perhaps you were not, in terms of your finances, or what you're working on, or what you want to build or see progress with, or as it has to do with work. Spirit, tell me more about this Eight of Coins, the Taurus. Or you find that you unexpectedly, there's something you need to work on, or have to work on with someone else, or there's a need to, or there's some unexpected detail that surfaces. But the other unexpected thing is to be careful about any missed details, okay, or a lack of focus. Or, you may find the unexpected thing is that there's something you don't want to work on, or someone doesn't want to work on something with you. Tell me about the Eight of Coins, please. Thank you. Okay, on that Eight of Coins at the bottom, you do have the Queen of Cups. So I feel like this is you focusing on your own self-care and nurturing. Be careful of any codependence on your part or someone else. This is perhaps you trying to get emotionally balanced. But this is you trying to nurture yourself or nurture a situation. There's a focus on care, okay? To invest emotionally, either in yourself or something in particular that you care about. On this Eight of Coins, you do have the High Priestess, the Ace of Swords, and you have this Knight of Wands. So someone could be coming in quick, someone who is an in and out individual that you're finding yourself having to deal with or work with, or that you don't want to have to work with, who is communicating with you, or that you're finding you're needing to communicate with, and you're trying to operate from a place of wisdom and enlightenment and follow your intuition on how to work on a situation. Or perhaps this is something that secretly your thinking is how to move away from something or someone. Also, this is about getting clarity or the truth about how to assert yourself with something that you didn't know what to do about before, or that you don't know what to do about at all, or that you need more understanding to be able to do anything about, or provide or present understanding to someone else in that regard, to create clarity in a situation and perhaps allow for some sort of breakthrough where prudence is needed, or the ability to focus in on or point out the details in order for that clarity to happen with something that some enlightenment needs to be put on the situation. Now, something positive that's going to happen is you do have the Six of Wands. And so with the Six of Wands, I'm not going to show you this because it looks crazy. The Six of Wands is saying that something positive that's going to happen is you're going to have some victory or acknowledgement or recognition here. But certainly with the things that you have been struggling with or having strife with, or something in particular, that you're going to get victory in this situation. You will be able to get victory over strife or some sort of struggle through what you recognize or bring to someone's recognition, or understanding or awareness, but that you bring some acknowledgement to the situation, or you have acknowledged here. But this is you making important decisions over the strife and struggles that you are experiencing and finding success. This is you having, oh, I almost showed you the card, having some success. There may be a need for you to also hold certain things close to your chest with the things you are looking to assert yourself on or work on. Okay? You may be seeking the truth also about something, and there's a need to work on getting to the truth because something may be hidden or you don't know about or you're not sure about, in order for you to have movement or assert yourself or to take action. And so your likely outcome here is you do have the Ace of Wands. And so with this Ace of Wands, this is saying that you come up with some sort of new creative spark. There's a new initial action here. There's new creativity, a new opportunity perhaps presents itself. This is having motivation. Perhaps you're receiving something, making a choice, or this is something concerning a desire. But this is also perhaps some sort of new concept, a new investment, new ambition, maybe even a new situation that is coming forward. This may be a new beginning or a fresh start, or your ability to take the lead on something that allows you to see victory or gain acknowledgement or recognition around it, where you may have had difficulties with getting that before. Spirit, tell me about the Ace of Wands. And remember, early on in your reading, we talked about that you would need to focus on some solid solutions. But by doing that, it will require abstract thinking. And that whatever is posing a burden or causing you conflict, restriction, or limitation, or that perhaps it may even be fearing or could be causing you anger or distress or being overwhelmed or limited or around an obligation perhaps, that you focus on being decisive, having a clear head, being logical, intelligent, being smart about it, and using your wisdom and knowledge to carry you through. Tell me about this Ace of Wands, because you do get victory. You get to initiate something, or you create or establish a new opportunity in some way, or you're able to take action or motivate the situation. But again, this Ace of Wands is speaking to that new way, that new abstract ways, right, to getting solutions to everything. Tell me about this Ace of Wands. 3 cards, please. Thank you. You do have the Tower underneath, but in this particular tower, the tower seems to be intact, right? So some of you are able to avoid a disaster here with this tower energy. For others of you with this tower, you may be able to hold up under some drastic change or the unexpected. This is also talking about your ability to avoid something risky. This is also talking about something could be uncomfortable that you're dealing with, but that you get the realization or the clarity, even if it could be a rude awakening. And so on the Ace of Wands, you do have the 8 of Pentacles, the 3 of Cups, and the 10 of Cups. So for some of you, this could do with work or to do with money or whatever is of value to you. But this is focusing on how to have harmony, cooperation, collaboration, or how to reconnect, or how to have success or a small achievement where others are concerned, where there is a focus on family or you getting fulfillment, or where fulfillment is concerned emotionally with what you're working on, or that you are studying or dealing with, where you're very focused on the details and you're learning how to work on something or a way in which to go about doing something that creates harmony in the situation, or an understanding or the cooperation that is needed to occur. So let's take a look at what is some additional guidance for you. So whatever it is, you may be dealing with something that feels like it could be devastating or uncomfortable or upsetting or a shakeup. But I feel like you either uphold under it or you're able to weather the difficulty by what initial action you take, or how you deal with the situation, a new way in which you deal with the situation, to recenter it by looking at the potential for something else to happen or to be done. You might need to cut away at things. I'm hearing a saw. Or cut something out, or cut someone off. Or you might need to reshape something or reform something or modify something. Maybe even correct or adjust. What is some additional guidance for Taurus, please? Can we have some guidance? What is some guidance here? But watch what you say. Watch your words. And watch your thoughts. And you want to be clear-minded. There may be a need for you to detach from your emotions, but to still find a way to have compassion towards the situation. So, thank you, Spirit. We have she who questions, mAoney, curiosity, destiny, and search. That's your guidance. She who questions. Remember I said there may be a need for you to, well, we got another card that just laid down here. She who becomes, Arterna, metamorphosis, transcend, and journey. And now your third piece of advice, she who thrives, orchard, flourish, prosper, and blossom. Very nice. So let's take a look at what these messages are saying for you, looking at the book Taurus, starting with mAoney. And so mAoney shows that you have other paths in front of you. There are avenues you can take that you may not even see yet. Be ready for the unexpected signpost pointing you toward a completely different way of doing things. Destiny can sometimes be tricky because you may be pulling for the wrong shore. Stop for a moment in your seeking. Tap into your natural curiosity and question things. Even those people who have always seemed one way and only one way may have hidden depths. Your job is to re-examine what you thought truth was. Chances are good you will be given an opportunity to make some changes. Remember, the circle can become a spiral, so rather than leading you back to your own beginning, it may take you up or down. Your skill at questioning will help you find your way. Some questions to ask yourself. What am I searching for? What is the meaning of destiny to me? And in what ways has my journey been a spiral? The next one is Arterna. I know I'm jacking up how I'm saying the name, but let's get to the message, huh? Shall we? So, with Artana, where she who becomes metamorphosis, transcend, and journey, the message here for you is this is indicating that you are at a moment of becoming the being you have been working on. All the effort is coming together to send you soaring up to the next plane. The good news and the bad news is there is always another level to achieve. Each subtle state of existence creates new challenges. Know that you have safely lived on your current plane, and all that you have learned by and failed in and powered through will be brought with you on your journey. The cranes who rise from the mist show you the past is a source of strength for the future. Like the caterpillar who metamorphoses into a butterfly, it is time to try out your new wings. Some questions to ask yourself, Taurus, is what is the next level for you? How can I benefit the most from this transcending situation? And what challenges me the most in my current spiritual journey? Now, finally, on the orchid, it talks about she who thrives, orchid, flourish, prosper, blossom. Let's get to the orchid. Do-do-do. Okay. Bear with me. Bear with me. Attention, please. Now, with the orchid here, this is saying that the orchid assures you that success is yours. Expansion, energy reverberates all around you. Your job is to take advantage of your coming abundance. These are good times. If you have a current business project, it is time to strike. Remember, wealth comes in many forms. A new good friend is as valuable as money in the bank. Stay open to the myriad of ways good fortune can arrive. A four-leaf clover should not be overlooked because there's a dollar next to it. You should pick up both while you are at it. The questions to ask yourself, Taurus, is what does successfulness look like to me? What can I accomplish with an unexpected windfall? And how can I view abundance less narrowly? Those are your messages. I hope these messages help. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Bye, Taurus.